Zell... XEL? Cell?
XEL?
Ah, thanks, Reid. It's a 3D action-adventure game set in a mysterious world. You play as a shipwrecked survivor, Reid, who has no memory of her past.
And what the hell am I doing in a crashed spaceship? If I'm something like a fancy astronaut, I seem to really suck at it.
Throughout the game, you must solve puzzles and fight robotic enemies with your sword and shield, while also bending time with your special abilities. While this game is fairly fun and simple to understand, it is not without fault. But before we get into it, I can't forget to remind you to like and subscribe so you can get notified about future videos. And I also can't forget to thank Assemble Entertainment for providing me with a review copy of this game. Let me start out by saying that the game is fun. The world of
XEL
itself is beautiful and the soundtrack is absolutely stunning. The gameplay is slightly reminiscent of old school action-adventure games, which, let's be honest, I'm here for it. It has been described as Zelda-like, which I can see in some respects. There are plenty of secret paths to unlock and chests to loot, and you can craft recipes and upgrade weapons with the help of several friends you'll make along the way. The story is full of wit and humor, keeping it pretty light.
Everyone lives!
Happy people everywhere.
We make out.
The game does a good job of not being overly dreary, given that when you first load into the game, you are hit with a warning regarding sensitive topics. The puzzles are not too difficult, making it easy for anyone to pick up. There are a few points where I was a bit confused, but all you have to do is pay attention to the dialogue and you can pretty much figure out what it is that you need to do. Yes, I'm calling myself out for not paying attention. Getting into the nitty-gritty, let's start with the controls. You can play either on keyboard or controller. Notice how I didn't say mouse and keyboard. That's right. If you are playing on PC, you are playing this game entirely on the keyboard, which, as a newer PC player, this was really hard for me to grasp. Not being able to change the keybinds was a bit frustrating, as it felt very unnatural to just use the keyboard, and I found myself constantly grabbing for the mouse. If you are playing on PC, I definitely would recommend playing with a controller. Once I switched to a controller, the experience was much more enjoyable and felt so much more natural. And I have to be honest, before I even thought to try a controller, I was not even going to do this video because it was that big of a deal breaker. Another downfall to this game is the camera angle. You will find yourself in areas of the map that wind up being covered by the foreground, making it difficult to see where you're going and if there are any enemies in front of you. When grabbing loot, I had to run around and hope that I grabbed everything since there was no way to see or change the angle. I can get over not being able to change the camera angle, but it would be nice to at least make it so that the foreground goes transparent so that you can see your surroundings. The combat is pretty standard. You simply do a 2-hit attack or a shield block. As a button masher, I did not really mind this, however it does get a bit repetitive in the beginning. Luckily, as you progress through the game, you discover gadgets that you can use to defeat bigger enemies, which does help to shake up the gameplay here and there. Some of the boss fights did feel a bit clunky and luck-based. In your first fight, you have to avoid its rotating laser, and to me I felt like no strategy was involved. I basically had to hope that I had enough stamina to avoid the path, as there didn't seem to be any pattern to where it would end up being, basically leaving me running in circles hoping for the best. I wouldn't say that this game feels unfinished, but I do think that with a few more updates, this game could be absolutely amazing. That's all I've got for you guys today though. Let me know what you think down below, and until next time, my friends...